ocean, sorry, the ocean covers up to 75% of the Earth and has a huge potential for clean, renewable energy. A 2017 report estimates that there's a potential of 1,700 terawatts of wave energy in the ocean. However, some reports say up to 80,000. To give you an idea, the world currently uses 20,000 terawatts of energy. As coastal communities start to experience climate change, the use of wave energy to desalinate seawater and produce sustainable food may be a great solution to these problems. My Greenstone is about wave energy and the process I have gone through to learning how to harness that energy. I was actually inspired to do this project well before my Greenstone. It was a few years ago when my family and I were in Sumba. Sumba is our second home because it's where my mom is from and where many of my family live. Many of the villages there have no power or running water. One day, my dad and I were watching the waves and started thinking if it would be possible to use this energy to help with these problems. If possible, this would be helpful around Sumba and many places around Indonesia, maybe around the world. Unless you've lived without power and the use of running water, it's really hard to understand how difficult life is without it. It's hard to do almost anything at night without the use of lights, especially homework. Having to go to the village well to collect water every day for cooking and showers. Many of the kids in Sumba must use the light of a kerosene lantern to do their homework. This clearly makes learning a much harder job. You can't store food for any time as you have no refrigerator. Sanitation problems due to lack of water. These issues make it so much harder for the community as a whole to progress. It makes it harder for the kids to be as well educated as they could be. It just makes life harder. Sorry. There are many projects that already harness wave energy. These are some designs. Palamis was a large-scale prototype that first put electricity into the UK power grid in 2004. Aquamarine Power has a design called the Oyster. It pumps seawater at high pressure to run electrical generators on land. This design is similar to mine, however on a much, much larger scale. These designs are good, however they're built they're very big and very expensive, built to power tens of thousands of homes. They're not suitable for small isolated communities. I couldn't find anything of the right cost or right size in all of the research I've done. In the research I've done, I've found that one of the main problems is it is hard for an individual to afford anything of this sort of size, and it is too complex for almost anyone to build themselves. I want the wave pump to be affordable and buildable by anyone. So I started to work on ideas of capturing wave energy. I started making some sketches with some help from my dad, and we looked at a couple and decided on which one would be the most efficient and the cheapest. The main criteria would have to be that it is cheap, simple to build, easy to maintain, and built with materials that are readily available. We decided on making a piston pump that would be driven by the power of the wave. We made a proof of concept model. This is to see if this would even work. This is the design that we made. It would be built from concrete, PVC pipes, and pipe fittings. These materials are cheap, easy to get, and inert and non-corrosive. The wave pump is designed to pump water to do many jobs. Some of the ideas that we have so far: the wave pump can be used to drive pumps for fresh water from wells, drive water pumps for hydroponics, aquaponics, and aquaculture projects. It can pump water for treating bamboo. These are some of the things it can do. It can pump water for treating bamboo, which is here. And it can be used to run turbines to create electricity, as well as be able to run small-scale desalination plants to produce drinkable water. We're sure that there will be many other applications for this project. One of the applications that we will test it on first is to build a saltwater pool. We have wanted to have a pool there at our place for a while. However, to fill a whole pool with fresh water when most of the people around there don't have access to fresh water isn't right. So we will use the wave pump to pump seawater from the ocean to fill up this pool. When it overflows, it will just flow back into the ocean. There'll be no need for chemicals or power to keep the water clean. One thing that needs to be kept in mind is that energy isn't always just electricity. In this case, energy is the flow of water created by the pump. This project will be used to test and refine our design before we move on to more critical jobs. This is still a work in progress. I know there will be a lot of work to perfecting the design to get it as efficient and as cheap as possible. Efficiency isn't only the output of the pump, it is also how easy it is to build, as well as maintenance and scalability of the design. These are all very important for the success of the idea. How the wave pump works is very simple. There are two one-way valves. When the wave float rises, the water is sucked through the one-way valve and into the piston cylinder, which you can see up here. The piston cylinder, when the wave drops, the gravity will force the cylinder down and then force the water out, which will be the flow of water. This is the energy. These are the different processes that we have gone through to build it. And the cost of the parts used in the latest model is around 240,000 rupiah. This is around $18 US, and we'll be able to pump for around 14,000 liters a day, over 5 million a year. Yeah. This is the model that we created here. Yeah. I'm hopeful that in the future, this will be affordable for almost anyone to do and build themselves, to purchase the materials, build it, set it up themselves, put it out in the ocean, and get energy from waves. If people can harness the energy from the ocean, the potential is almost unlimited. One of the great aspects of the model is that it is almost 100% cement and inert parts. This means it will be harmless to the environment. In my future plans, we plan to build a model that will be able to act as a wave pump as well as an artificial reef at the same time. Like this. Yeah. I hope to continue my research, test the design, and improve it as needed to keep it as cheap, make it as cheap and simple as efficient as I can. I hope that in the future I can spread my idea of getting energy from the ocean and around Indonesia and around the world, and let people enjoy the clean energy from the ocean. Thank you.